I'm not gonna say that I've called off because I felt like this, but yeah, that's... I'm just gonna pick this one. In spite of the fact that your body is actively fighting you literally every step of the way, you somehow manage to drag yourself out of bed and make your way into work. Surprisingly, you end up only being about 5 minutes late and nobody seems to notice or care. That's about my luck every time. Though when you woke up, the simple act of being even physically present at your job seemed like an impossibility, you were surprised at your own ability to push on through the day. While you were far from enjoying or indeed even really coping with the dullness of your job today, you seem to have slipped into a trance-like state of automation, and time is nevertheless passing. Eventually, the end of the day rolls around, and you head home, utterly exhausted, but at the same time almost proud of yourself for having stuck it out. You were definitely still depressed, but things are getting better. Whatever you're doing seems to be working. You really feel like you're taking steps to affect positive change in your life. Now seem to be enjoying your therapist. Between giving you a chance to talk things out and the CBT techniques she shares with you, you find your sessions extremely helpful. Couldn't tell it was a B at first. That is some weird font. Next. It's 2 a.m. on a Sunday and you have work in the morning. You roll over to see the sickly green glow of the time displayed on your LED alarm clock and let out an exasperated sigh. You've been trying to fall asleep for over 3 hours now to no avail. Every time your head hits the pillow, you're overcome with anxious thoughts that wrap themselves around each other. Worries about your job lead to worries about your future, lead to worries about your very identity, and you're unable to shake them off long enough to doze off. Your eyes won't even stay shut as your mind races through imagined scenarios going horribly wrong, which you promptly attribute to your general worthlessness. Your thoughts run too fast for you to come to a satisfying conclusion on any one of them. Your room is completely silent, but the silence has given way to a loud static noise rattling around inside your head. Your heart beats loudly and you worry it's beating a little too fast. You worry that if you focus too strongly on your racing heart, you'll freak yourself out hard enough that you have a heart attack. You have to be awake for work in a mere 8 hours, and you know that your work is so much worse on only a few hours sleep. Oh god, none of these are available. And this is not a good choice. Definitely not a good choice. Insomnia is also a fairly major sign. At another point in my life, I wasn't able to fall asleep until 4 or 5 in the morning. And I'd have to be awake a few hours after that to get ready for class when I was in college. At one point, I stayed up for, God, I think it was 42 or 44 hours because I couldn't sleep. I mean, even being awake that long, I tried to take a nap about 32 hours in, and I just couldn't do it. So I finally had an evening class that night, and I managed to sit through it without falling asleep. Drove half an hour to and from that class without any problem, and then I just got home and crashed on my bed. But I guess since this is our only choice, we're gonna have to do it. You get out of bed and head to your desk. Laying in bed with nothing but your thoughts to keep you company makes you feel like you're going insane. The harshness of the light coming from the screen makes you squint as you turn it on, despite how often you find yourself in this exact situation. There have been so many nights lately just like this. As you begin reading a news story, an online friend of yours IMs you. You're up late again, I see. Yeah, can't sleep. Again. That's a type. Okay, there it is. Thinking too much again? You guessed it. Want to talk about it. You end up talking with Attic for quite some time about how you've been feeling. He's always been easy to talk to about personal matters, and the added security of talking online helps. Being able to rethink what you say as you type it out and check it before you send it out helps you gather your thoughts, and you find it less intimidating in a way to type it all into a prompt than say it out loud. I don't want to be the guy who thinks they can diagnose something because I read a Wikipedia article, but it kind of sounds like you might have depression. You should talk to someone about that, like a doctor. Pretty sure I'm already in therapy. You pause. Are you really that transparent? Or is it that you've gotten used to talking about your feelings at this point? Your insomnia makes you a little paranoid, but you shake it off. Yeah, that's always fun. When you're exhausted, it makes you paranoid. We can do some research to see if there's a good doctor near you. It's not like you're going back to sleep anytime soon anyway. Might as well do something while you're awake. Oh, this isn't good. This was a step back. Shit. Let's do this one. Oh, okay. I'm glad you're taking that step. I've heard it's not an easy one. I know people kind of suck at understanding this sort of stuff sometimes. But there's nothing wrong with having depression. You wouldn't be ashamed to have bronchitis or something. So there's no reason to be ashamed if it's your brain that's sick instead. You spend a few more minutes talking with Attic about your therapy and your feelings about it. He's incredibly supportive, and you're happy to find that you have a confidant that understands your illness and is willing to lend an ear when you're having nights like this. A little while later, you fall back into bed, kitten in tow, and find it easier to drift off to sleep. Even in therapy, you know you're still going to have nights like these, sometimes. It's good to know that you have a friend who will help carry you through them. And I think I'm going to end it off here. This is definitely an interesting thing. I'm not really sure if this game has a save feature, but hoping it does. So I will let you guys know beforehand if this is going to be like the only, well, I guess you could call it a playthrough, I don't know. Alright. See ya.